When you want to hit the dirt roads, but you want to be a little different, what do you get? When you want to blow the doors off a Camaro in your turbocharged all-wheel drive sleeper, what do you get? They made one for everybody, from Vermont moms to SoCal surfer dudes, to liberal arts professors and overlanders. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Subaru Forester. You're the man now, dog. It's the mid-90s. People were wearing FUBU and Levi's silver tab jeans. Dear Mama by Tupac Shakur was blasting out of my dad's car as he pulled away from me and my mom. Ironic, don't you think? It's like me! SUVs like the Jeep Cherokee and the Ford Explorer were already hugely popular, and Subaru didn't make anything like that. They made weird looking, totally rad stuff like the SVX. It's got a freaking race car window in it. But smaller car-based crossover SUVs were starting to take off. Subaru's legacy Outback was beginning to sell, and Honda CR-Vs and Toyota RAV4s were taking over small parking lots. And it's no wonder. They both came with picnic tables in the back. I love picnics. I hate ants. You want to go to a picnic? Hello? The RAV4 might not have come with a picnic table. Portable furniture aside, people preferred the car-like fuel economy and the car-like handling over the truckiness of the body-on-frame SUVs of the time. Subaru product planners took notice. Hey, Mitch, what if we put the boxy wagon onto a small car platform and jack the ride height up a little bit? Dude, I freaking love how you think. Dude, we can make an STI version. We should! Yeah, but let's not send it to America. Yeah, dude, them. So, like Steph Curry, they took their shot. Subaru debuted a forest-colored, Impreza-based concept called the Stigra at the 1995 Tokyo Motor Show. When it finally launched as a 98 model, they had changed the name to the appropriately outdoorsy-sounding Forester. The new crossover had a tall greenhouse with huge windows, along with a high seating position that gave people the visibility they liked about SUVs without all the bulk. And because it had a low car-like center of gravity, also due to the nice low boxer engine, it was way less likely to roll over, especially compared to the notoriously tippy-flippy Ford Explorers of the day. It did so well in safety tests that it was the only crossover not required to have a rollover warning on the sun visor. Under the hood, the first generation Forester got the sweet turbocharged 2-liter EJ20G boxer engine making 250 horsepower. Hallelujah! Yeah! Psych, we didn't get that, only Japan got that. Every time I believe somebody, they break my heart. American Foresters got the Outback's 2.5-liter EJ25 Boxer 4 with 165 naturally aspirated, forest-dwelling, oat-eating horse puppies. And every car came standard with a 5-speed manual transmission. Hallelujah, save the manuals! Subaru also doubled down on people's love of traction. So, unlike the Impreza at the time, every Forester came with all-wheel drive. The S-Trim's got a sportier, viscous, limited slip diff and 16-inch alloy wheels because S always stands for sport. You silly goose.
Some of this.
They were dealer option packages that added even more rugged stuff, like a brush guard and a rear differential skid plate to protect your rear diff from rocks and stumps. And for you geeks out there was a dash top gauge pack with an altimeter, a barometer, and a digital compass. How sick is that? Back in the wagon booty, there was almost 65 cubic feet of cargo space. This thing could haul stuff. It didn't haul much ass yet. In the year 2000, Japan started to get sportier Forester variants with suspension mods, bigger brakes, and a body kit. Subaru made 800 of the super limited STI2 Type M's with gold BBS wheels and an ECU tune good for a 5.8 0 to 60. Meanwhile, the US Subaru Forester was affordable, practical, safe, and capable. The automotive press loved it, with heavy hitters like Consumer Reports and Car and Driver calling it the best small SUV. But the numerous millennium dawned. Grunge music was out and Subaru still wasn't selling a whole heck of a lot of cars in America. Subaru was competing against giants like Honda, Toyota, and Ford, and they were losing. They desperately needed more buyers. They hired ad company Wieden & Kennedy to make them look cool. Those are the guys who came up with Just Do It for Nike. But after a year of paying out mucho dinero to those madmen, Subaru actually saw a decrease in sales. So they hired a smaller firm, Mulryan Nash, who said they could figure out how to sell the Forester to a new niche market. The new guys started by looking into who was buying their cars. As one would assume, their all-wheel drive vehicles were selling well in places like the Pacific Northwest and up in New England. That makes sense. It's snowy and rainy in those places. What else? But what was less expected than that was that around 80% of the buyers in those places were women. And after a couple focus group Q&As, they confirmed that most of the people buying Foresters were lesbians. I know nowadays it's something of a cliche, but it's true. LGBT women were 4 times more likely to own a Subaru than any other segment of the population. Now, Mulryan Nash specialized in niche advertising, and here's what they came up with. Their first print ad featured a Subaru climbing over a rock and proclaimed it loves camping, dogs, and long-term commitment. Too bad, it's only a car. And their sales took off. They featured slogans that still sounded good if you didn't know, but they gave a subtle wink to the underserved, extremely loyal consumer base. In 2000, Subaru hired Martina Navratilova to appear with Foresters on billboards, in magazines, and in commercials. This wasn't a subtle nod in print with Xena Lover on the license plate, which they did before. This was network TV. Some buyers and dealers pushed back, but money talks and losers walk. This ad campaign, which nowadays is taught in marketing classes, skyrocketed Forester sales and effectively saved Subaru. The second generation 2003 Forester came out looking almost exactly the same as the first, only now it had a new rear end with triangle headlights. It was nailing every crash test and earning top safety ratings. You know, the kinds of things people are concerned about. But more importantly, the Forester XT finally hauled into American dealerships in 2004. Under the newly scooped hood was a turbocharged 2.5 liter EJ 255 Boxster 4 making 210 buff horses with a ton of tunability capability. Now, drivers who wanted all the performance of the WRX in a more business-like, understated package could walk into a dealership and buy a Forester XT. If you were lucky enough to live in Japan in 2004, you could get this awesome Forester STI. Subaru was dead set on making the fastest, meanin'-looking Forester ever. The little powerhouse cranked out 265 horsepower, let you shift through 6 gears. It comes with Momo stuff. Smash that like button so I know how many of you like Momo stuff. And while we're over here lamenting about how we never get anything good from Japan and the States, if you got a US Forester XT, STI parts bolt right on. And there was an added bonus. It was much easier to slip past the cops in the boxy Fozzie than it was to rumble by in a Rex with Big Wang. The totally new 3rd gen Forester came out in 2009, designed by Mamoru Ishii, and started to look like the crossover it always was deep down inside. The same engines carried forward with the XT now pouring out 225 backcountry horses. The Forester's new mainstream looks and a rap sheet for being super safe pushed sales higher than they'd ever been. 2014 saw the debut of the 4th gen Forester with a pretty mild facelift and even more interior space. The 2.5 XT became the 2.0 XT with a 2-liter 4-banger making 250 horsepower. The 5-speed manual was replaced with a new 6-speed unit, but you couldn't get it with a turbo for some reason. On the plus side, this was the Forester's first time getting Subaru's X mode, which works with the all-wheel drive and stability control to handle the trickiest off-road and slippery situations. The brand new 5th gen Forester came out this year, 2019, and of course it's bigger, more comfy, and safe as can be. There's a new sport trim sporting sporty orange and black accents, but there's not much else sporty about that one. The days of boosted Forester XTs are dead and gone for now. And if you're lamenting the loss of a hatchback STI, Subaru unveiled a brand new Forester STI concept. It features a new e-Boxer hybrid engine, all the STI suspension goodies you'd expect, big old 19-inch aluminum wheels and 6-piston Brembos in the front. It's a badass looking beast that will remind you of the no-nonsense roots that helped the Forester save your favorite car company. Guys, I want to give a big shout out to some of our favorite dudes around, Evitz Model Shop. Times are tough for small businesses right now, and Evitz is trying hard to survive, but rent is getting out of control. They may have to shut down if they don't get help, and you may have seen these guys in our video where we made a 1/24 scale drift missile, or more recently, they helped us put together our Bugatti Chiron that went 41 miles per. If you have a second, please go donate to their Indiegogo in the link below, or go buy a cool ass model kit, an RC car, or a helicopter at their store if you live near Santa Monica. They've been around since 1948. Every time I walk in there, I feel like a kid, and now I'm an adult with a job, so I can finally get all the stuff that my dad said I couldn't buy when I was a little kid. Places like this don't exist, and we need to keep them around. So anything you can do to help, they're really great friends of ours. I love you. Thanks for watching Up to Speed. We make one of these every week. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any. Smash that like button because I want to be on the trending page and I don't know how to do it. You want to buy a donut shirt? Go to donutmedia.com. Let us know what cars you want to see down in the comments. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. Follow Donut at Donut Media. Check out these episodes.